Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got big stuff going on today, including a serious look at the question that everyone is asking. Is the Bitcoin bull run over? I'm starting to see some people that believe that. We are going to tell you what our belief on this channel is. We're going to be explaining to you exactly what is going to be happening in the future. And then at the end, we're going to kind of be addressing, like, what are the different ways that this could be going? What are the different directions? We're going to be looking at Chainlink hitting an all-time high and holding tough. A lot of the altcoins holding tough right now. It's definitely a very interesting, time. A lot of people asking about, I have some mustard on my cheek. I don't have any mustard on my cheek. What's wrong with you? I ain't got no mustard on my cheek. A lot of people asking about this CoffeeZilla interview, the one with Trevon James. I actually did an interview with CoffeeZilla that will be out here in a few days. I guess next Sunday maybe he's putting it out, because he said when we were doing the interview, it was the Sunday conversation we recorded a few days ago. I reached out to CoffeeZilla before that even happened. I'm a fan of his channel. I like his channel. I like a lot of the stuff he says on there. And, a guy promoting Hex and some other stuff in BitConnect said that I was pumping coins. Which, can y'all please be for real about that? So anyways, guys, you can look for me on that channel sometime soon. We did an interview. I addressed a lot of different stuff. And you guys will see it was a good interview. Well, I like to get offensive on this stuff because, I mean, the fact is that this is a very, very, very interesting time because we do have a lot of scams, a lot of scammers in cryptocurrency, as you guys know. A lot of the people that, it's funny to me, it seems like a lot of misdirection. A lot of the people that seem to be out there calling everybody scammers, sometimes I wonder if those are the people that are actually out there perpetuating the scams. But, scam is not a prosecutable word. You can call anybody a scammer you want at any given point, and it is not defamation. So the point here is during this time when a lot of people are making a lot of money, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of stuff. We know the scammers are the impersonators, the people that are absolutely stealing from people, and it is really, really, really sad. But guys, we are starting to see people talking about the Bitcoin bull run being over, and I'm going to address that today because we're going to be looking at some bullish stuff. We're going to be looking at some bearish stuff. And, when you really start breaking these charts down, I'm going to give you some scenarios that I think could be happening. Right now, we got Bitcoin coming in at 36,199. We have the overall market cap, as you guys can see right here, at $1.017 trillion. And we have been talking about how, 1.1 trillion definitely seems to be, let me move this down a little bit, definitely seems to be a little bit of a resistance area. We have the volume continuing to go down, $110 billion today. We have Bitcoin dominance also continuing to drop. That is why Bitcoin is stalling out and the altcoins are still moving. We have some good movement on some altcoins, especially on their weekly charts and things like that. Ethereum did not break an all-time high by yesterday, which I believed that it would. When we made that prediction of January 17th, that was based upon the move that it needed to make from where it was. That was not counting on a giant market collapse that took $200 billion off the overall market cap a week later. And obviously that really hurt things. I still honestly thought that we would get there, and I think we still probably will see all-time highs this week for Ethereum. Obviously, when I make these predictions on what day I think it'll be by, I mean, they can't be dead on the day, just like when I say September 28th should be the end of this bull run for Bitcoin. I mean, it may not be on that date, but these are dates you need to be looking to that are important, that could certainly have some repercussions on the market. Guys, 289,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. We will be clearing 300,000 subscribers this week. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure that you do. And if you are a subscriber and you do enjoy the content that we give here every single day for free, make sure that you guys go ahead and smash that like button. When you guys click the like button, that helps more people to see this stream, more people to know about crypto, and more people to find out what is going on with this bull run. And I'll be honest with you, I talked to somebody this week that actually had never heard of Bitcoin. What are the chances? Pretty crazy. So there still are people out there that do need to see this. If you didn't know, we were on Graham Stephan's channel on Friday for his how I bought Bitcoin video. I'll show you guys which video it is. He used a clip from one of our videos, and this why I bought Bitcoin, 345K. He's got almost 3 million subscribers, so shout out to Graham for including us in his video. And here's what he said, and this is really important. He said, The reason why he saw our videos and he got into Bitcoin was because the algorithm on YouTube was recommending my videos and Altcoin Daily's videos and a lot of these channels' videos to him. So if you do go ahead and smash that like button, and that helps people like Graham Stephan or Graham Stephan and people that have bigger channels to see us as well, and also the little guy to come in. So all right, guys, let's look at the overall gains for today. We got Graph, a project I'm in, 35% gains. We got Zen, Ampleforth, Hedge Trade continuing to crush it. Golly, 54 on CoinMarketCap, coming in 330% gains for the week. Got to hedge your bets on that one. Neo continuing to have a decent week. Kusama, Solana, a project we're very bullish on here. On the channel, we got Icon, IOTA, Basic Attention Token, all pumping 10%. Let's look at the biggest losers of the day. Ren down. It had a pretty big run up, though. Looking for anything else I'm invested in. Band down a little bit. Still up 32%. Synthetics, same thing. Aave, same thing. Aave up 80% on the week. Got big holdings in Synthetics and Aave personally, so I'm looking at that. Doing pretty well. Stellar, up 26% for the week. Theta, we got a big video on Theta tonight. And I got to be honest with you guys. I got excited about Theta, really digging deep into the project and looking at what it's doing. And I think I actually, even though I've talked about it before on the channel, I think I had some misconceptions about what Theta was really trying to achieve here. And this video we're putting out tonight is going to be slam dunk terrific. You're going to love it. Make sure to come back to the channel tonight. I am so bullish on this thing. It's unreal. Coming in right now, number 22 on CoinMarketCap. Wow. That thing is absolutely crushing it. So definitely pay attention to that. So let's get in. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart because there's some stuff I want to show you guys. Number one, looking here on Market Cipher, okay, here, let's move this up here. Looking here on the 1 hour chart, you guys can see it's still been pretty bullish. I mean, we got our green dot down here on Market Cipher. If you guys are interested in purchasing Market Cipher, MC.BitBoy.Live, MC BitBoy, chicken. So here's what we got, guys. Okay, we've got a green dot that came in on yesterday. Looks like is today the 18th, TJ? I think it is. Yeah, we got a bottom yesterday for this move. But if you come over here, you look at the last time we got a bottom, it moved up and then moved back down. But here's what I want to show you guys about what's happening right now. Okay, what I want to show you guys that's happening right now is we are still locked in the middle of this channel. And if you're really looking at it, the volatility is getting a little bit less. And guys, keep in mind, we have been in this channel forever. Okay, look how far back this goes. Okay, this goes all the way back to the beginning of December. So we've been in here for a month, over a month and a half. We've been, still on this same line here. We got 3 touches of support right there. We got it wicked down a little bit lower. Okay, we got the hard resistance here at 40,000. Okay, so here's the real truth of it. Until we break out of this, there is nothing to worry about. Now, people are getting all hot and bothered about these head and shoulders patterns and some stuff that's looking bearish. But this is what I'll tell you. There have been other times that it looked like this as well. How long did it take us to break 20,000? It took us a while to get over it. We glanced off of it. I think, in the middle of November, it took to the, pretty much end of December or no, I guess it was on the 19th of December. I can't remember exactly what date it was. 17th of December. That's what day it was. 16th or 17th to break it. So took a couple weeks there. We've been up above 40,000 twice now. And this is, acting as very hard resistance. And I have just been, I have been shocked this week by listening to some people talk about Bitcoin. And in my opinion, it shows just the disconnect between understanding the history of Bitcoin, understanding the historical charts, and the people that look at the here and now, okay? And I've got so much evidence to show that this is not the end, but there are some bearish things. And so if Bitcoin were to go down this bearish pattern, okay, and we were to drop, there's still a bullish scenario there. But for us to not end this year higher than we're at right now, Bitcoin is going, and I want you guys to hear me on this, because look, guys, here's the facts. One day this will happen. Will this be today? Will this be this month? Will it be this year? Will it be the next bull run? Will it be 20 years from now? One day, Bitcoin will break away from the redundant cycles that it's on. They will not follow the exact cycles exactly. One day. I do not believe that today is the day. I do not believe this week is what's going to happen. I do believe that, I mean, and if we look at this, okay, if we look at this pattern right here, and we look at these lines, and we start to figure out, you know, where they're going to touch. God, I did not mean to press that. And we look at where these things touch. I mean, out here, the end of January, why can I not grab and click? That's as far in the future as it'll let me look. Basically, we're looking at February, March before this would absolutely be forced to break up or break down. So we still got a while to go before it has to make a decision. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think that we're going to be heading back up. I mean, that's definitely what I believe. I think there's so much bullish momentum, but I also think that we needed this. Guys, it was getting too exciting too quick, and I can tell by the YouTube numbers. Our views are starting to dip down a little bit. Our subscriber numbers are starting to dip down a little bit. That's because, obviously, the more bullish everybody is, the more everybody wants to be watching videos, and the more new people come in. Hits 42,000, falls back, and, you know, some people are calling for it to go as low as 26,000. Well, for it to go low, all the way down to 26,000, it's going to have to fall way down under here. But you know, in 2017, we didn't have anything like this, okay? But what I want to show you guys is I want to go back to 2012 and 2013 and look at what happened during that cycle. Because really, this was a case of two different bull runs within the bull run, okay? They were two really distinct large movements, okay? And the important thing is what happened in the middle, okay? Now, I understand it's hard to really comprehend the breadth of these movements because the price of Bitcoin was pretty low, okay? But if we come back here and we look at the hyper-Bitcoinization that we've looked at in the past for 2013, okay, where it went from $10 all the way up to $259, okay? 2,396% movement. Now, we've seen about 400% move. I mean, really, for this year, started at we're around $8,000. It got up to 42. So that's about 5.5, right? Or no, 5.25, about 5.25x. So that's, you know, 525%. So this was a much, much larger move. But look at what it did on the downside. So in 2013, in early 2013, we saw this big giant move up. This could be what we're looking at right now. We could be looking at a repeat of the 2013 cycle possibly, okay? Where you go way up and then look how far it dropped down, okay? From the peak, it dropped all the way back down. God, it dropped 83%. How are we not looking at that? 83%. After that huge run up. Now, keep in mind though, that even though it wicked way, way, way up at 2,300%, it dropped down 8,500% or 85%. So, I mean, that still was massive, massive growth, okay? Overall, still massive growth. But the point is that if we saw something like that, is this right here what we're in for, okay? Are we in for something like this, where we get basically 5 months of sideways action before we get 5 months of sideways action before we get this right here? I mean, we get this move right here, which what we'll be looking for. This was really an interesting cycle because it really was like two distinct cycles within one, if you will. I mean, because that 85% down draw right there, that is the entire bear market, really. I mean, 85% down on a bear market. That's usually what we see. So very interesting to look at. Could we be looking at something like this? I do not think that we are, personally, okay? I am still very bullish, and I still believe that we are going to be heading out of this, and we will be moving up here soon. You know, there's a lot of evidence to support this. We come over here, look at the 4-hour chart. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys, nothing that's happening right now is changing my predictions. Like, and this is where some of you guys get so caught up in the here and now, like exactly what's going on in this moment. Bitcoin, now I want you guys to think about this, okay? I really want you guys to think about this, okay? I want to highlight something on this chart, okay? People are talking about Bitcoin could be going down to 26,000, 27,000, whatever, okay? I want you guys to keep this move in the chart right here. Because when people say that, there's this idea that, oh, God, if it goes down, everybody's going to get scared. And this move you're looking at right here, which was on this particular day, was a 16% down draw. And that's a 4-hour chart. So really it was closer to 20%, I believe. That happened overnight. Okay, so it went from where it's been recently, right? It was around 35,000. It's been a little bit lower than that over the last week. From 35,000, if you want to talk about the top of this at that point, okay, so 35,000, it was a 20% move, and all that happened in 2 days. And then look what happened. It bounced right back up. That is the power of the bull right now, okay? That is the power of the bull. We are in a bull market. The trend is your friend. I am not shorting. And there are some people out there that I have seen making videos on YouTube talking about it is the bear market. It is time to short. And let me tell you, if you want to get absolutely wrecked, you short in this market, because that is not what is happening right now. We go back and we look at the Bitcoin bull cycles in history. There is nothing to indicate ever that was the peak of the market. And I understand you go and you look at, oh man, I didn't mean to move my line. And I understand you go and you look at, the charts right now and these big drops and people talking about 27,000. It could be going down that low. I know you guys see that and you get kind of scared. But when you look at the beginning of these bull markets in the past, this is the same kind of movement that we see. We see these down draws. We see the price dropping down. What's the number I've told you guys? 25 to 40% is normal, okay? And if we were to, even if it does go down to 27,000, which I personally don't think is going to happen, but you guys know, if you watch this channel, I'm pretty much perma bullish on Bitcoin. So if you want to watch a channel that's going to tell you price is going down, you're watching the wrong channel, because I believe with every conviction in my body that the price is going up. And when I see these YouTubers talking about they're shorting Bitcoin and it's time to short, I'm just like, what are y'all looking at? What are y'all looking at? If we were to go down to 26,500, which is the number some people are throwing out there, that is still within the range. That's within the range that we have seen through the history of the bull markets. You get these downturns, and when you get them, it's time to buy more if you have the liquidity to be able to do that. Cast your dang vote for Bitcoin. You know, that's where we're at. And what we're seeing is a lot of these alts are being resilient, okay? They're being resilient to these moves, and these altcoins are, benefiting from the Bitcoin people taking profits and moving it around. But, as long as Bitcoin is bouncing in this range right here between these two lines, there's no reason to think it's going down. History would tell you that it's not. And when you come and you look at what happened when we had the massive, on the 4-hour chart, we had the massive drop last Sunday. You see the green dot on MarketCypher telling you to long it right there. And look, it's been correct so far. Yes, it hit against the 40,000 and bounced back down. But when you start looking at these, it does look like there's been two distinct movements. You got this move down, the move up, and then it's been slowly dropping towards the bottom of this volatility. It probably needs to bounce off of this somewhere around, $34,000 to get a real charge to go up. But if you look back at what happened, okay, when you look right here, okay, you look at this move and this move, okay? This is a move down, kind of like a dead count bounce almost, dead cat bounce, and then it shot back up. Well, it's funny because this whole thing right here looks very similar to this right here, right? It looks almost the exact same, okay? Well, let me tuck that in a little better, because right here to about right here. The question is, what is happening right here? Okay, what is happening? That's a terrible arrow. That's not what I wanted to point to, okay? One point right here. What's happening right here, guys, okay? If this move right here does not head back up towards the top of the volatility, then I would say most likely we were heading down to a bounce off of this support line. But right now, there's really nothing to think. If you look at the beginning of this move right here, There's nothing to suggest that this isn't going to do something similar. I mean, we're on the 4-hour chart. What time does the 4-hour chart reprint? What time is it right now? I don't know what time it is right now on the chart. I don't know what time this 4-hour chart reprints in Eastern Standard Time. But, you know, there's still a chance that this red candle right here, I mean, it's only a difference of 36 to 36,300. If it just goes up $200 or $300, that is going to close on a green as well. And when we come over here, let's look at the weekly chart. How do we close up for the weekly last night, I wonder? I didn't even look at that. Let's go look here. Let's get off our lines. Get off our lines. Get off our lines. Come up here. Let's look at the weekly chart. Let's see here. The weekly chart. Now, on our weekly chart, lines are going to look a little bit different. But, I mean, guys, we still, on the weekly chart, we're still bullish. I mean, guys, look at this. Let me get rid of these lines here. Get rid of these circles I just drew. Get rid of that line there. Okay. When you look here, and it's funny, like the weekly line, it makes mine look kind of out of whack. If you look at the regular weekly, it's still, I mean, if you look right here, we're to draw a line on the weekly chart from here. Well, let's see, let me move this thing a little bit. I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty close right there. Pretty close to 3 touches. Yeah, actually, if you draw back to the beginning of this first candle back here in December, and you look, I mean, it does look like these top two are bouncing off that same line. I've got no reason to think that this is going to be bearish, guys. I've got no reason to think this is going to be bearish other than it just seems like we've lost a little bit of momentum. And, I mean, that in itself can be a bearish thing. But when we really start looking at all of the stuff surrounding this, which we're going to look at in a second, there's so much bullish stuff going on. And if you guys want to take part in our bullish contest here, do we have this link in the description now? Oh, we don't want to put it in the description because the live stream description things are weird. Guys, we will have, I probably need to make a forwarded URL for this. I'll make a forwarded URL so you guys can sign up for this. But in our theta video later tonight, we will have the URL for this to sign up. We do have our Bybit trading competition. We get 250 people to sign up. Sign-ups just open, so somebody was on their P's and Q's and already went and loaded up. We're going to be giving away a full Bitcoin in this contest. Right now we got 7 days, 7 hours, and 1 minute until registration is over. So maybe drop this link in the chat, TJ. I'm going to text it to you. You can drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to go sign up for that. But make sure that you guys are signed up for at bybit.BitBoy.Live. Obviously, sign up at the link down below, and you guys can sign up for an account, and you can come trade with us. You only got to deposit like $100. It's not even that much deposit, and it's based on percentages. So if you have $100, you can still win in the contest. We got a new trader here at BitBoy Crypto, and we are definitely going to be trying him out. You hear that, Elron? Y'all are going to be trading against Elron, our in-house trader, and we're going to see what happens there. So we're going to be having an account just for that so you guys can follow along and see how we're doing and see how we can make it happen. So you guys want to sign up for that, you can do that. Back to the bullish scenario, though, here. Guys, Pantera Capital's big Bitcoin price prediction playing out exactly as forecasted. Now, let's see what they... Turn my thing there. See what they're saying. They're saying 115,000 by August of 2021. And, you know, if you go back and you look at my predictions for the year, you know, we were saying $100,000 by August would be what we would need to get that wick up in September to get to $200,000 or $300,000. Looked like we were going to be ahead of that, but the Pantera Capital and CEO founder Dan Moorhead is doubling down. Okay, in the last letter, he says it's exactly on track with the forecast we made in our April letter. There's nothing off track. I can't understand these people. Like, how are you telling your audience to short Bitcoin right now? Like, I can't for the life of me fathom that. I've got some really good friends that I know and have been in crypto for a while, but they're not in crypto every day like I am. And I was talking to him, and we were talking about something, and they said, well, I mean, you know, the dumb money's already here. All the dumb money is in. You know, this thing's about to be going back down. And I was like, wait, what? They said, yeah, 42,000 was the top. I was like, what? I said, no, we're just getting started. And they said, you honestly don't believe that Bitcoin is going to $100,000, do you? What? Yeah, I do. They looked at me like they thought that all this stuff I talk about on the channel is like, I'm just saying it to get clicks and $100,000 Bitcoin, $322,000. I believe it with every fiber of my body. Every fiber of my body. If Bitcoin does not hit minimum $100,000 during this bull run, I'm going to have to question all my life choices. Because I've been building for this for years. Everything says this is going to happen. Think about this, guys. The last bull market, the price 18x'd its previous all-time high. If this was the top, we went from 18x to 2x. That's not even 4x. And there's a lot of scammers there. Guys, it only has to go 5x. The last time it did 18. Like, what is wrong? I don't understand. I can't grasp. When you look at every bull market in history and they have 25 to 40% downturns, if the last one had 6, and you literally get to the first one, and you say, it's over. It's over. I quit. I'm retired. It's over. It's over, guy. I'm like British comedy over here. Okay? Call me Mr. Bean. Okay? No, guys. That's not happening. If it does, listen, I'm going to say this. If the price of Bitcoin does not recover, and this was the top, if $42,000 was the top, the whole crypto industry will not know what to do. Because for the entire history of Bitcoin, we've been going along one narrative and one idea and one thing. And if it were to totally just out of nowhere get upended, then that's going to flip a lot of stuff on its head. I know all these YouTubers. I know all of them. I know all the big ones. I know all the big YouTubers. Every one of them that's in crypto. They all legitimately believe the price of Bitcoin is going well above $100,000. Literally every single one of them. I don't know one. I do not know one that does not believe that. Why? Because they understand the history of Bitcoin. They believe in Bitcoin. They understand the trillions of dollars that we're printing, which we're going to look at in a second. They understand all this. So let me just say it like this. No, the Bitcoin bull run is definitely not over. And let's look at, this is firmly what I believe. Now, we will be looking at what the bearish people are saying here in a second, okay? But this is the NUPL, okay? Ivan was talking to me about this chart. Virtual Bacon on TikTok talks about this chart a lot. He's a very good follow on TikTok. He does a lot more analytical stuff there for some chart reading on TikTok, and I think he's a really great guy to follow. This is since 2011. This is the net unrealized profit loss. And when we tell you guys we need these breathers, this is exactly why, okay? Whenever the NUPL gets to a 0.75 or higher, okay? A 0.75 or higher, and it goes... This stupid thing. Stupid. A super chat asking if I think ETH will reach 10K. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think it'll reach 10K for sure. I mean, that's only a 10X from here. We're talking about Bitcoin about, going upwards of that. And ETH hasn't even had its breakout yet. Once ETH does have its breakout and it goes up to 2,500, which I do believe it will happen in short order once it breaks above its all-time high, its previous all-time high. From there, it's only a 4X. $2,500 to $10,000. And I say only a 4X. I mean, if this was freaking stocks, it'd be like, a 4X in 74 years. What an incredible move. But guys, this is crypto, okay? So yes, I do believe Ethereum will be going to $10,000. I think $10,000 is the minimum. That is what I believe. But every time the NUPL, the net unrealized profit loss, okay, goes to 0.75 or higher, it gets in this blue range. That is the peak. Whenever it gets well above, because you can see kind of the first runs here in 2011, it kind of peaked above and then went back down. But once it really established above that, this is called euphoria. This blue, whenever you see the blue on this chart, that is euphoria. And if you go back to 2018 January. You see we just peeked into the blue barely, and then we got the collapse. You see the Bitcoin chart itself in the background. It looks like the logarithmic scale. Is this a logarithmic scale? Kind of. I think it is. That's the gray line is the chart of the Bitcoin price. This is the excitement level, the net unrealized profit loss. How much money people have made. You see in the bear markets, they're in red. Whenever it gets up into the blue, you should be dang scared, okay? And if you look right here at where we were at the peak at $40,000, okay? Or does this go down that far? This does not include where we're at right now. Why does this not include where we're at right now? That is the last market. This is not the right one. Where is the current one? Well, that is not right, guys. That is not what I want to see. This is the Glassnode Academy. Let me go to the one that has, let's see, look into Bitcoin, chart relative. Okay. Is this right? 2020? Yeah. That's when it got above 10,000. Okay, so yeah, this is current right here, guys. Okay, this is current. Now, you can see we are clearly into the greed level, but the color chart, which I don't know where he gets. We need to find out where that is. Can somebody drop that link in the chat to the current chart that shows the euphoria in blue? Because that one was not current. But the point is, guys, we were getting very, very, very close to that blue level, according to the chart that I've seen, but I can't find right now. Once we get to that blue level in the euphoria, the market collapses. We have not seen that yet. And that's why it's so important that we had a very, very, very significant pullback. We have to temper the expectations. And you can see that in the analytics of people watching videos. You can see that in the price. We need that consolidation period. Whenever we get the consolidation period, we can make another move up. And we have to have that to keep the pressure on Bitcoin going up and people not wanting to sell. Right now, and here is a way that you can kind of think about this, okay? When the price of Bitcoin is at $42,000 and everybody is in profit, and then the price drops pretty significantly down to like 30K, what most people are thinking like, dang, I need to load up on this right now because I cannot believe it dropped to this price. In a bear market, people are not thinking that way. You're thinking, how much farther is this thing going to go? You're afraid. Like, I don't know anyone who was afraid to jump in at $31,000, okay? In a bear market, when the price is a falling knife and it's just continuing to push through level after level after level, it gets down to, kind of think of it like this. When Ethereum dropped in March, okay, and Ethereum went down below $100, do you know how many people I heard say, well, if it gets down below $100, I'm going to load up? What happens? It gets down to that level and people are scared because they say, how much lower can it get? That's the fear. And right now where we're at, we're still looking for price drops for good entry points. But in a bear market, people are looking for exit points and like, oh my gosh, I would never buy it if it got that low because that means it's probably going to collapse. So, you know, right now with this NUPL, did they ever send that? Nobody knows. I got to find it. I'll talk to Virtual Bacon. I'll find it. Oh, it's a paid one? I don't mind using a paid one. Yeah, I don't mind paying for I don't mind paying for y'all. I'll pay for y'all. I'll do a paid account. Look at that. I'll ask Virtual Bacon and I'll find it, and then we'll re-examine that tomorrow, looking at the current levels. But you know, kind of on the bearish side of things, because we do have to kind of show the both perspectives. You guys know my perspective. You know what I believe about things. I've been very clear, very transparent about that. But there is some uncertainty. So it says it is clear. Will the price of Bitcoin crash? Uncertainty looms as BTC stalls under 40K. It is unclear whether or not Bitcoin will recapture 40K anytime soon. In the meantime, certain DeFi assets are taking off. And this is a conversation, kind of about Ethereum we're going to have in a minute. We're just saying, like, is it time for round 2 of DeFi? That is what a lot of people believe, that while we see Bitcoin kind of stalling out, kind of similarly to we saw Bitcoin stalling out over the summer as it got above 10,000 and it stayed between 10 and 12 forever, seemingly. That's when DeFi really took off. And once Bitcoin started running again, we got the PayPal news. That is when DeFi really took off. We could see a mini cycle similar to that, where we spend the rest of January maybe moving to the side, which, once again, I believe we will be going up. But if we do stay sideways, that's not the worst thing. Here's an interesting perspective for you. Bitcoin stalled out pretty much over the weekend. Didn't do much. It has a pump. It kind of is just staying in between about 34 and 37 right now. With Bitcoin and Ethereum not doing much, my portfolio is up, not down. Okay? That's because a lot of these investments in these smaller altcoins, I'm buying a lot of altcoins on Coinbase right now. Graph, Stellar, Synthetics, Aave crushing it for me. These are coins that are pushing further. I'm really looking at the DeFi coins in there, and those coins are keeping my portfolio afloat. They're keeping me moving forward in the right direction, even though the Bitcoin price has stalled out. So, but I'm not moving out of Bitcoin or Ethereum anytime soon. I'm still waiting for some big moves there. But you guys know, I mean, we're not super over invested into Bitcoin itself, but we, are on Ethereum. And just like I told you guys yesterday in that video, we are not looking to move out of that at all. We have a certain amount we will not move out of no matter what. Other money that comes in, other liquid money we have, we do buy altcoins on Coinbase right now. And then we're also, on Binance, looking at Cardano and Solana and some Elrond, some of those. Bitcoin teeters, DeFi continues on a bullish wave, so we'll kind of look at that here in just a second. Sushi has been killing it as well in the DeFi world. But here's the case for Bitcoin dropping to 27K. Now, it's funny, because it seems like this is almost, you see it on YouTube. You see the overwhelming feeling from YouTubers that, like, right now it's good to make clickbait for people, it's good to make clickbait for the market's crashing kind of deal. And, obviously, I mean, you look at the thumbnail for this one. I mean, there is a certain aspect of that's true. But on this channel, we are not going to change our mind on things overnight. I know a lot of other YouTubers do, and that's okay if they do that. I mean, that is certainly their prerogative to be able to tell you one thing one day and come in the next day and tell you the different thing. We may, take advantage of the sentiment in terms of getting people to click on these videos, but you will not hear me talking out of both sides of my mouth when it comes to what we believe about cryptocurrency and what we believe about this market. Had a sniffle there. First sniffle of the show. So anyways, guys, there is a case. So basically, when you look, it has a lot to do with the fib levels, I believe. But here is also a map of unspent Bitcoins. And you guys can see every time it starts to heat up, we get a bounce. But right now, we have not, it's not really heating up. And we've got these levels in between 31.5 and 32.8. We got levels between 28.7 and 29. And this is just, it's kind of like sports analysts, I mean, how many experts said the Saints were going to thump the Buccaneers last night? God, I love seeing the Saints lose. I'm sorry if you're a Saints fan. I hate them so much. I hate the Buccaneers too, but man, I hate the Saints worse. You can talk to 20 sports analysts who they all are totally immersed in sports. They understand all the analytics. They understand everything there is, and you will get totally different predictions of the games. Because at the end of the day, it's just the games are just going to play out the way they're going to play out. You can make recommendations, you can lean certain ways, and that's how it is. You're always going to find someone. If you want confirmation bias, you're going to find someone who's going to be able to tell you it's going to, absolutely moon. You're going to be able to find someone that tell you that, you're going to be able to get a new entry at 25,000. A pseudonymous trader, pseudonymous. I hate that word. It's so hard to say. Known as Alex, for example, said that if Bitcoin heads back down to 30K with no visible buyer reaction, the trade would be to wait for 27K. Random trader, just random guy. Alex, thank you, Alex, for your input. We really appreciate it. What about the quote down here from random trader Ben that says, buy, move it up? He said decision-making is dynamic. Nothing is set in stone, but most likely if the price heads back down to 30K, I'll be holding off. Next time, the game plan is to have ammo to buy the dip. If 30K breaks, absolutely no buying until down to 27Ks or back above 30K. And I just don't see how they can say that. I just don't see how they can say there's absolutely nothing between 30K and 27K. Do y'all remember how hard of a resistance 28K was? 28K was pretty tough resistance. We finally got above that and we flipped it. So it's hard for me to believe that it would go straight down to, Well, I guess what he's saying is back down to the 27Ks. Notice that 27Ks. Because when we did get that massive dip that we were talking about on this chart, well, I have to go back to the weekly chart or the 4-hour chart. When we did get this massive dip that was back in, let's see when this was here. Yeah, this dip right here. When we got this dip right here that we were talking about earlier where it went down to 27, You see it wick down just below 28, just barely touch at 27. So I guess that's what he's saying. That's kind of legit, I guess, because it's not going down to 27, I don't see. But right around 28, there's a lot of buying support, so I don't see it dropping that low. But once again, it's going to have to break well out of this channel that we've been looking at for a few days for it to do that. So you're just going to be able to find people who are going to tell you all kinds of stuff when it comes to the price of Bitcoin. But personally, I don't think this is the scenario that's playing out. I think it's going up. Jimmy Stewart he said, should I? And here's the thing, guys. I want to reemphasize something I said yesterday on this video. He asked if he's holding Litecoin, should he move it over to ETH? Well, in my opinion, Ethereum is going to have a massive move. It has not had the massive move above all-time highs. Bitcoin has been sitting above all-time highs forever. And when this momentum builds, we've already seen the exchange values plunge, or the exchange reserves plunge 27% in one day recently. And so there is a lot of momentum for Ethereum. We're going to look at, a story involving, what is that? I don't know what that is. We're going to look at a story involving Greyscale here in a little bit as well that is going to talk a lot about, other assets are going to be popular, not just Bitcoin, okay? But the fact is when it comes to Ethereum, it has not had that major move. And once it does get that major move, at that point, we're going to have to, decide what to do after that. But what I told you guys in that video yesterday where we discussed this is the number one way that traders lose, God, it's looking very bullish. I think this Ethereum chart is looking bullish. Looks like we're going to get a green dot here on that's the 15-minute chart. I don't like the 15-minute chart. So not quite as bullish, I guess. Let's see here. Look. You guys can see it just keeps bumping its head against this 1240 resistance. Or 1250 resistance. But the thing that I said in this video yesterday is the number one way that people lose in cryptocurrency in a bull market is over trading. So the same way I'm telling you guys, do not jump out of Ethereum before it has this move and start jumping into all these other assets. I would kind of tell you the same thing if you're in the other assets. If you're all in on Litecoin, it hasn't had that massive move we were expecting. It was right on the cusp of getting where it goes straight from 160 to 300, right? You don't want to be jumping out of whatever you're in. As long as you're in really solid coins right now, you don't want to be over trading. It's just you're getting busted on fees, and then you are taking the chance. Like, listen, here's the deal, okay? If you're in Ethereum and you wait for the Ethereum move, you're not going to miss the Ethereum move, okay? If you're in Litecoin and you try to jump out of Litecoin and jump into Ethereum, then guess what you might miss? You might miss a Litecoin move. You'll catch the Ethereum move, but you'll miss your Litecoin move. And what a lot of people do, the psychology of traders, you would jump out of Litecoin, you would jump into Ethereum, Litecoin would start pumping, you would start feeling FOMO, you'd go right back to Litecoin to try to take advantage, and then Ethereum would pump. It's just better to if you're in solid coins, just stay in what you're in. That's the number one way that people lose money is jumping around too much. So do not be jumping in. Be adding. If you have liquidity, if you have money to add other coins, then that's what you should be doing. You should not be jumping back and forth between all these different coins trying to catch a pump. That's what this market counts on. It counts on dumb money doing that to get all their orders filled. So keep that in mind. So kind of looking at the Ethereum chart here, you guys can see we're still bouncing in between the zone right here, similar zone to what we're seeing for Bitcoin, okay? And this one is just, it's so dead on, okay? But we are getting to the decision point very soon. This decision point will be by the 20th. So right now is the 18th. We have 2 days left before it's going to either break up or break down out of this. And I got to say, I got to believe it's moving up. Something that's been very interesting to me, the price of Ethereum has really held tough even in the midst of the Bitcoin volatility. But when Bitcoin rises back up towards $40,000, Ethereum is going to have a really good opportunity to bust out. I don't see Bitcoin falling drastically down to 32,000 and Ethereum breaking up. I don't see that happening. So we really need Bitcoin to continue to hang tough. And as long as Bitcoin can bounce in between these, the $34,000 and $8,000 range, then I think, Ethereum is still going to have this massive breakout. But we really are heading to a decision point very soon where is this 1250 resistance going to just push the price of Ethereum back down under here and we're going to fall out? If that's the case, we could be in for a rough 6 weeks before recovering. But I do believe that it is going to break up and break out. I mean, look how many times it has hit this resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The more an asset knocks on a level, the stronger the ability for that asset to get up above that resistance is. We look at Bitcoin on average, it seems, in my opinion, when it gets major resistance levels, it seems to knock against those about 5 times before busting above it. Anywhere between 5 to 10. This one is already above that. I can definitely see Ethereum busting through this. And the important thing to keep in mind is once it does break through it, you really are looking at very strong support once that happens. I mean, if Bitcoin doesn't collapse last week, Ethereum is not getting pushed down below this level, I don't believe. I mean, you can see when Ethereum was really trying to push down at the very beginning, you guys can see it barely wicked under it, bounced right back up, wicked down on it again, wicked down again and bounced above it before finally getting that push down because Bitcoin was just collapsing. So I do think Ethereum is going to be bouncing out pretty soon. We have this, speaking of Ethereum and DeFi, we have this from Ryan Selkis, 2-Bit Idiot on Twitter. He says, DeFi is insane. It's the fastest evolving real set of innovations I've seen since getting into crypto full time. I've seen a lot of real innovations, but yeah, I mean, I guess there's a point there. 2009, 2015 was about building Bitcoin's infrastructure and connectivity to the real world, and that's what we saw. 2015, 2019 was about the ETH settlement infrastructure. 2020 on is mostly DeFi. I mean, guys, think about how much sense this makes. We are on of the financial sector. That's what this channel is. We are technology meets finance. Now, if you guys like that, if you guys like tech and finance, and you want to see prices go much higher, make sure that you guys go ahead and smash the like button for us. We're trying to get to 4,000 likes. We got to get to 4,000 likes by the end of this stream. So you guys make sure to pause what you're doing. If you like DeFi, smash that like button very much so we can get to 4,000. That's the number we are trying to get to. But here we are. Just the past week, we had meaningful scaling upgrades, synthetics, under-collateralized on-chain lending from Cream, major cross-protocol integrations with Rune, a store chain, novel new algorithmic stablecoins, and then let's see, this says, not to mention smaller composability tricks like Curve, where people are basically able to, maybe combine some of these mechanisms into super DeFi. But if you really think about DeFi and you really think about Ethereum, it really goes hand in hand because this is a financial sector. Cryptocurrency is mostly about what? Money. That's why you watch. It's about money. So it makes sense that the largest contingent of cryptocurrency that would be the most successful and the most readily available is DeFi. And let me tell you guys, I want to bang my head against a brick wall talking about banks right now. And I know people say there's a cult. We're in a cult. This anti-bank thing is a cult. Okay? I went hunting this weekend. I'll tell you all, bagged me a few little trophies. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. I know some of y'all are probably anti-hunter. Whatever. Second Amendment. We're in the South over here. Okay? But listen, I went to pay for that thing. And my bank declined the transaction. It's pretty expensive. Okay, we went up to a lodge. Pretty expensive what I had to pay for today. And my bank just declined it. Y'all know we had, why? Just cause. Oh, it's Martin Luther King Day. Can I call him? No. Just had to use a different card. Had to use my Crypto.com card to pay for it. So, and that's got, I love Crypto.com, but even that has some issues. I found out I can only spend a certain amount per month on that card. What if I got to do more than that? I got a lot of home renovations, a lot of stuff going on. But when it comes to the banks, they won't let you spend your own money. So you know what we did? We took the remaining balance after I paid off, what I'm allowed to spend on the Crypto.com card. We took the remaining, I think it was about a remaining $2,000 I had to pay, $2,500, because it paid for me and a buddy, my uncle actually. Big shout out to Uncle Tim. We took the transaction and we broke it down into 4 $500 transactions, or 5, whatever it was. Just think about that. I can't spend $2,500 at one time, but I can spend $500 5 times. Think about how crazy that is. How nuts is that? The bank won't let me spend my own money, and I couldn't even call them because they're closed. And this is a brand new bank I just started with. Absolutely ridiculous. What is going on with these banks? We need DeFi. If I need access to my money, you can't be closed on Martin Luther King Day. This is 24/7 business we're in. Every business is 24/7 now, except for what? The money business. The money business. Well, guess what? DeFi is 24/7. Let me tell you what else happened. We were trying to get this new business bank account. I had TJ go and take some cash that I withdrew from our old account to move over to our new bank business account. His bank locked him out of his account for trying to transfer money. What? It's our money. It's so ridiculous. It makes me so angry when I talk about it, because on this channel for years we've been talking about, the bank stuff, and I ain't been mad at the bank, really. I ain't really been super mad at the bank. But now I'm experiencing the exact problems that have led to the creation of cryptocurrency and DeFi. So it makes total sense to think DeFi is going to be the biggest niche in cryptocurrency. That's why we talk about it so much. And you got Greyscale, okay? You got Greyscale talking about Michael Sonnenschein, who's not the founder. What is his role? He's the CEO. And then what's the guy's name that's the founder of that thing? Barry Silbert. Isn't he the founder of it? He's all involved in it. He says that institutional investors are also exhibiting a growing interest in diversifying their investments by choosing other crypto assets behind Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind what else this says. They raised $700 million in one day. Grayscale. That's why, guys, you come here and you look at this Bitcoin chart. You look at this freaking Bitcoin chart. From right now, do not show in this browser again. I hate you. Okay, you look here, they raised $700 million in one day. That is the demand for crypto right now. So when you're sitting here and you're going to tell me that this price is about to break down instead of up, I just can't get it. I just can't get behind that. I've been behind a lot of things. I can't get behind that, okay? But, when you go back to what he's talking about here, there is a real... And I see it. I talk to people all the time that are getting into cryptocurrency. There is this real need and desire for people to feel like they're getting in on the next thing. That's why talking about the next Bitcoin is so big. Everybody likes talking about what is the next Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. But once you get outside of that, there are other niches, and this is why that Chamath Palihapitiya quote got so crawled all over me. He was talking about Ethereum has no value. You just don't understand this whole entire industry. This is like the internet. There are going to be plenty of winners in different niches. And when it comes to social media, Facebook was the winner, okay? When it comes to online retail, Amazon was the winner. When it comes to streaming, kind of Twitch is looking like they're the winner right now. In search, it was Google. You got all these different, niches. That's how it is in crypto. You're going to have tons of winners. You're going to have winners in DeFi. You're going to have winners in, hedgeable assets. You're going to have, or store of value. You're going to have winners in supply chain, winners in gaming. You're going to have a lot of winners. And these people are looking for that. They are choosing institutional investors. Look, guys, I cannot make this any more plain to you, okay? Institutional investors, let's highlight it for you, okay? Institutional investors choosing other crypto assets besides Bitcoin, okay? There is going to be a big run-up of altcoins, and that's another thing. Going back, people are talking about this at the top of the market. We haven't even seen an altcoin season at all. We've seen little bitty peaks of them, okay? But we have not seen a real, true altcoin season. How are you telling people to short the market? How? You are going to get a lot of people wrecked. And I just think it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what is happening in this market. We also have Chainlink. Speaking of other assets, Chainlink obviously hit its record all-time high, and it is really kind of leading the charge. And I know that this is happening because I got a guy who I know who wasn't even in crypto a few weeks ago. And now all of a sudden he is. He's in crypto and he's talking about Chainlink and how excited he is and, where it's going to go down to. And he was asking me, how low did I think it could get? Could he get it, back below $10? He's been buying up all the way. He was buying around $21. And I told him, I said, look, 1850 is the number. I mean, 1850, as you can see, we drew it right here, is that hard resistance. So if we do have a drop down, 1850 is my buying range. As you can see, we are starting to move above that. Okay, we're starting to move above it. And if you look here at this, we got one high and we got a higher high. We got a low. We got a lower low. Still looks pretty bullish to me. Still looks pretty bullish to me. Link does. Am I buying at the $1, $22 level? No, I'm looking at the 1850 level. If it drops back down there, I'm going to get back in. But when you're looking at everything right now with the momentum is due for a correction, keep that in mind. But if it can hold that 1850 level, then I certainly think that it can be a good time for Chainlink. Now, last thing I want to talk about, just the economy, guys. Well, second to last thing. We got the economy. Guys, hyperinflation. And I talked to some guys this weekend while I was at this hunting lodge and just talking about all the stuff going on in the world and the economy. And, a lot of people really holding out to hope there's still some crazy thing going to happen this week in politics. And I just don't think it is. I just really believe this week is going to be just a pretty normal week. I don't think there's going to be anything spectacular. I think, Joe Biden is going to get inaugurated. I know some people don't like that, but I think that is what is going to happen. And I think this is going to be very uneventful over the last few days. And you really see it with some of the people that do videos where they talk a lot about conspiracies and crazy stuff. Even they're starting to lose hope that this is just going to be a totally normal week. And I think that's what's going to happen. What is not totally normal, though, is the inflation. And people are starting to see it. When you look, Eric Voorhees talking about early onset hyperinflation, and you're looking at the amount of money that's being printed in the United States right now, and you look, that is scary, scary, scary stuff. And especially when you think about the fact that this blue line right here is going to go whoop. We're not even close to where it's going to be. We're not even close to where it is going to be. You look at just how crazy it's been since we got off the gold standard. Inflation's been going up. And also keep in mind, the inflation numbers that we get are wrong. They're lying to you. They're lying to you about inflation. They have changed the metrics, okay? It would kind of be like this. Let me give you a comparison. You know I love football. Let me give you a comparison of what is actually going on compared to what they're telling you is happening, okay? Let's just say that the Saints were playing the Buccaneers, or let's say the Buccaneers and the Packers going to play for the NFC Championship next week, okay? Let's say the Packers score 3 touchdowns and the Buccaneers get 4 field goals. So the score is 21-12, okay? Let's say at halftime, the referees get together and the commissioners of the league, and they say, well, we kind of want Brady to win. I mean, Brady looks good. He makes us look really great. So during halftime, they decide that they are going to change the scoring system in the NFL in the middle of halftime. And they say, well, actually, starting now, we're going to count field goals as 5 points and touchdowns as 5 points, and you get an extra point so you can get 6. Okay? So basically, long and short of it, that would make it the Buccaneers are all of a sudden winning 20-18. Wow, how novel of an idea is that to change it at halftime and change the perception of what the score is in the game and who's winning the game. That's what the government has been doing for the last 20 years, actually more longer than that. Think about the last 40 years. They've been changing the metrics and the way that they measure unemployment and inflation to make it look much better than it is. TJ, what do they say the inflation, what does the government say it is over the last 10 years, like 1% or something like that? Yeah, they act like it's 1 or 2%. Okay, 1 or 2% inflation. Let me ask you, 10 years ago, how much did a Coke cost at the store? How much were you guys paying for your groceries 10 years ago? Okay? How much was your milk 10 years ago? The only thing that's kind of inconsistent there is gas, because we know the gas prices go up and go down. But a lot of that is due to gas taxes and government regulation once again. But the point here is that inflation is much, 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 much higher. Okay, so when we're looking at a chart and we're looking at the M1 money supply, that's what this is, the M1 money supply, and you're looking at 25% of all money in the United States was printed last year, and you look at what they're already on track to do this year, it's scary. Are we heading towards a Venezuela type situation? I'll be honest with you guys. I was out in the woods this weekend, and I was really thinking about things and thinking about the future and our country and, a lot of stuff that's going on, and I'm starting to figure out, I might move somewhere else. I may move somewhere else. I may move out of the United States. I love America. I love this country. But we could be, excuse me. Sorry, that's the earpiece from the CIA telling me to chill out. But the fact is, I'm starting to see some things in this country that are making me kind of scared for the future of it. And, is maybe living somewhere else a better option than here? Not right now. It's not. Right now, it's not. Right now, I'm not moving overnight or anything like that. But I'm definitely looking, and I would suggest that everybody, if you have, we have a my assistant. Thanks. We'll see you, Lila. I hear her car for about a mile down the road. That thing squeaks. I think I could get it fixed for her, but we'll see what happens. Point is here is that I think if you are a smart person, if you are a smart individual, okay, and you live in America, and you have any amount of flexibility in where you live, okay, and you are not, obviously if you're making $15 an hour, fast food in Seattle, and you're trying to get your way out of there, it's going to take a lot. But if you're the type of person that's a thinking person, you need to start thinking about what this future is going to look like in 2 or 3 years from now. And what could you do to protect yourself and protect your family if the economy totally crashes? I mean, they say if all electricity goes out in America, everybody's pretty much dead. How are you going to eat? Where's your freezer? How's that going to do you if you don't have any electricity? So the point is, if the economy totally collapses and we go through a hyperinflation thing like they've seen in Venezuela, if you're smart, you're making plans for your future. That's all I'm going to say on that. We're not going to get on too many rants. I mean, that's not really political. That's just looking at the situation revolving our money supply and how dangerous this is. Helicopter money. The higher it goes, the more straight down that line becomes. I mean, this looks like Bitcoin in 2017 right here, and it's kind of scary. It looks like there's got to be a crash coming sometime soon. So last thing I just want to talk about with you guys is, and we'll go out on this one. I guess we'll have our music playing here. Is, guys, we don't know what's going to happen in this market. Nobody knows what's going to happen in this market. All I can do is give you my best guess on what I believe is going to happen. Me personally, I'm bullish. If the price drops of cryptocurrency right here, 85%, I'm going to get absolutely wrecked. But you know what? I'm going to ride it all the way down at this point because I do not believe this is the end of this market. And I think that a lot of people understand the history and understand that this is something we have to go through in order to get to the crazy numbers that we are going to get to. So if you could do us a favor and make sure, smash that like button. Did we hit 4,000, TJ? Did we almost get there? We're at 3. So if you guys could just make sure to smash that like button for us so more people see this video. But you got to understand, don't risk what you can't afford to lose. And make sure that you're making smart decisions. You've got fallback plans in case this bull run doesn't go off like we think it's going to. But for me, I believe that it is definitely going to take off. And this is just a bump in the road. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to